On today's show, ever hear of the term bowfishing? Well, today, it's turned into a nocturnal affair with big boats and shiny lights. Laura Shera tests her archery skill for carp in the cover of darkness.
All right, that was strike one.
Up next, Antler Bling. Ever hear of it? Could be the hottest new fashion trend. Remember, you heard it here first. Antler Bling.
Oh,
Perfect.
is that good? Woo!
Next, what's Laura cooking in the kitchen? With the help of a little garlic, Laura is putting a new spin on an elk roast.
That's so delicious.
Our Minnesota Bound Classic this week takes a look back, way back, to when daughter Laura first tagged along with her dad on a wild turkey hunt. Does she get one? Only Dad knows. Those stories and more, next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. As you can see, Raven's not with me. I think she's putting on her makeup. So she's being replaced by daughter Laura.
Lucky me.
But Laura has taken an adventure, a new one for her, and she's going to tell us about it.
I recently tried bow fishing, and boy, it was such an adventure. We stayed out until the wee hours of the morning. So this is the boat we're using this evening, and obviously this looks very high-tech. This is not something you see every day.
No, it's not. This is a custom-built rig. It has LED lights that you can see all the way around the boat.
Not your typical Minnesota walleye boat, that's for sure. And not a fishing rod in sight.
Tonight we're going to be going out and we are looking for giant carp. These fish are very destructive to the environment of the lake, and we're going to be fishing for them in a new, unique way, which is really sort of an old way, is we're going to be using bow and arrows.
I hope he has enough arrows.
We specialize primarily in new persons, first time on the water, first time hunting experiences.
Clearly, my guide Kurt has a passion for bow fishing.
I got started years ago. A friend of mine introduced me to the sport. I think it's unique and it's different.
Different for sure. We were waiting for the sun to go down. Yes, carp hunting is nocturnal.
We're fishing tonight what basically is a custom G3 boat with fishing decks that are on top of it so that we can be elevated above the water. We're also using LED lights sneaking up on the fish, so to speak. The arrows are attached to a line which is attached to a retriever, so when we shoot and it goes into the water, the line will allow us to reel the fish back in.
For the blue heron, the sun setting meant its day of fishing was ending. Ours was just beginning.
So have you do is go ahead and take a couple of practice shots real quick. We want to do this a few times because we want to get you really comfortable shooting before we actually start. We're going to be shooting about this far underneath the fish in front.
Got it.
And then you'll watch your arrow just take off with the fish. Or as we call it, the arrow will dance.
I'm ready to see an arrow dance tonight.
Little did I know, dancing with the carp usually included a few missteps.
See him down there? Shoot.
Shoot it?
Shoot. Ooh.
Missed it?
Missed it. Go ahead, reel it.
Darn. All right, that was strike one.
Remember, it's about an average of 10 shots for one.
The night was young, and my missteps were adding up.
Right there. There's one. There's two of them.
Shoot.
Look at right in front. Look at that monster.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I said to Mr. Carp, I can do this dance.
Right down low.
Oh, he moved. Darn it. At least I'm in the vicinity of the fish.
Then I remembered, you have to aim where the carp isn't.
Did I get it? Oh.
Well, first time people out on the water find it sometimes in the beginning a little frustrating because the fish look like they're right there, but they're not.
Now I was ready. More carp, please.
Oh.
Darn it. Did I get it? That was like Moby Dick.
Under the lights, carp were everywhere. Other lake critters too. I was gliding over a real-life Minnesota aquarium.
Look at that old dinosaur.
Quietly, I waited for one more shot.
Got him!
I got him,
You hit him! He's a monster! Maybe we still have him.
Oh, we've got a fight on our hands, folks.
Whoa! That's a big fish.
Oh my goodness, I can feel his strength at the end of the line.
That is a monster.
Oh,
Look at that. The size of that
oh
thing.
my gosh.
He's just a monster.
That is unbelievable. That is my first fish with a bow. I can't believe it. This is honestly is such a fun sport to be out here at night and to see what you can see and then to land a fish like that.
So now I know what bow fishing is all about.
It's a monster. It's a beast.
Lots of missed shots, followed by one moment of jubilation.
That is unbelievable.
All under a night and starry sky, dancing with the carp.
Coming up, a fashion trend about to happen? Well, maybe. But would you believe it's Antler Bling? Believe it.
And my thought is this is a way of bringing it back to life.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers. Connecticut. Open Air Solution. And by Jesse Treble's Safe Basements of Minnesota.
Welcome back to the show. If you're looking for a unique and novel use of your antlers, well then I found some bling for you.
Antlers and antlers of all kinds. Since prehistoric times, mankind has been mystified and mesmerized by antlers. And it's still going on.
Shed antlers are a hot commodity these days, and many of us have a few of these laying around our house. But have you ever thought of turning your antler into art? Well, I found a gentleman who's doing just that.
This really one of the very first I did, and back then I always put a silver base coat on it. And then, of course, the art of this one is I didn't encrust it tight, but I think that has a great look too.
Meet Bradley David Swanson, a Twin City creator of Antler Bling.
This has probably got 40 plus hours into it. And you start with the tips and you go back, and right now this one's got about 1,800 stones on it. I did a pair for my wife for a birthday present, and after that she said, wow, this is really cool. So then I started doing some more, and I immediately made some sales, and then I've just kind of gone crazy since then, finding more skulls and antler sheds and getting tighter and tighter on my bling. This is an 8-point buck, and it's a full head mount. There's my signature bling tooth.
So on average, what would this sell for?
This one, my wholesale would probably be around $3,800, and you know, that is what it is, and that's where it's about trying to find the right market. I know there's a market for it. I really pretty much just work with the little glue stick and then a X-Acto blade. So I'm putting them in, and thankfully I'm not having vision problems yet.
Oh, the pitfalls of being a bling artist.
My wife, who inspired the thought of never covering something all the way because you want the natural element to show so people could see that this is part of nature. I think it's very natural repurposing, and my thought is this is a way of bringing it back to life. No different than having a northern on the wall. I was hoping maybe I would get hunting wives they've looked at that same shed forever sitting on a table, and now they're like, well honey, I still want to keep it, but now we got to change.
While bling may not be everybody's thing,
maybe true hunters would go, that's just wrong, and that's fine, because at least that's an opinion.
Swanson's patience with antlers is trophy-sized.
I'm assuming it's like somebody that's knitting, and I'm just going at it, and I'm kind of in a zone in this little room, and all I ever hear is the sound from these lights, because I rarely have music on, I don't really have the TV on, and then I just kind of lock in. And the only trick is, and my family's been dealing with this, I am doing it constantly. I think it's the right time for it.
The right time? Perhaps. Indeed, Antler Awe has passed the test of time. And those were bucks and bulls with no bling.
There's so much natural, inspiring art out there, and that's what I like about this. And a lot of great artisans out there. This is just my little niche. With all the bling, it certainly shines.
So we're gonna add just a little pinch of salt and pepper to that.
Coming up, it's time for Laura to go wild in the kitchen. Are you looking for a recipe for that elk roast in the freezer? Look no further.
Looks great, look at that.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Yard.
It's time to head to the kitchen, and on today's menu, we're serving up a wild game roast, cooked in a non-traditional manner. But thanks to my dad, we found some elk on our plate. It's time again to get wild in the kitchen, and I'm here with Chef Jim Kinberg from Firelight Grill House and Cocktail Bar. And Chef Jim, I understand we are making something for the garlic lovers.
We are. We're going to be doing a garlic studded elk roast today.
But I understand it's a lean meat, so we have to be careful in how we
It
cook
is
it?
a very lean meat, so we've got some special procedures in how we're going to keep it moist, keep it flavorful, and it's going to be delicious.
All right, let's get started.
Typically, I would do this, as one big whole piece. But this is that special technique I was referring to earlier.
Okay.
So we're just going to cut this right in half. Here's the critical part. This is where the garlic studding comes in. We're going to take our paring knife, and we're just going to make little incisions about halfway into the roast itself. And if you'd be so kind, we have some garlic slivers, and we're just going to stuff them
Stuff
right
these in here.
And now we're going to just season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. So we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which is the vegetable component of this roast. Put those right in there.
Right on in. The pan is sizzling.
So we're going to add just a little pinch of salt and pepper to that. So we've got onions, carrots, celery, and potatoes. This is where we start the elk roast. So you're just going to put that right on top of the vegetables. So it's going to cook on top of the vegetables, 225-degree oven for about 45 minutes to an hour until it's rare, 130 degrees.
Rare,
Yes.
okay.
And last but not least, some rosemary, some thyme, and right into the 225-degree oven.
All right, it's been a little over an hour, and our roast is now rare. Gorgeous.
So we're just going to set the roast to the side. We're going to put these vegetables right on the plate. So now we're going to put the pan back on a high heat because we're actually going to sear it.
Taking the herbs off.
We are. They've already done their job. And we're going to put that down. You want to hear that nice sizzle. It's going to be about 3-4 minutes aside.
And don't overcook elk. Otherwise, you're going to be eating rawhide, people. Don't do it.
So let's check the bottom. See that nice color we got there? All right, now we're ready to take it off the heat. We're going to set it to the side and let it rest. And that'll give us just enough time to make our sauce. So we're going to use that same pan. All that flavor that we have developed in the bottom of that, we're going to take advantage by sauteing some mushrooms in there.
All
You want
right.
to just add them right in there?
Throw these right on in. There we go.
I'm going to sprinkle a little salt and pepper on those. And to help thicken this sauce, we're going to add just a half teaspoon of flour.
Now for the good stuff.
So we're going to start with some red wine.
Okay.
About a quarter cup, a little more.
Whoa.
Perfect.
Is that good?
See?
Woo!
We're going to add some beef stock next, so about a half cup, about twice as much as wine what we put in. A little more. Perfect. Moment of truth. We're going to slice it and see how it looks inside. It looks great. Look at that. We're going to pour this sauce right over the top of that elk.
Now that is an elk roast. All right, Chef Jim, I'm ready to dive into this elk
You
roast.
look ready.
I have a very serious steak knife right now. Oh, it's so delicious. As always, Chef Jim, it's wildly delicious. And if you're a garlic lover, this one is not to miss.
Coming up, a look back in time, where I introduced a kid to the great outdoors, this time my own daughter Laura, who went along on her first turkey hunt.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Grand Rapids Tourism, Vino in the Valley, and by Tracker Boats.
It's time now for a Minnesota-bound classic. So I'm going to take a walk down memory lane and look back at my first wild turkey hunt.
A Father's Day gift in turkey season. Hunting wild turkeys in the company of your daughters.
See the turkey sign here?
Oh, yeah.
Scratching?
This is Simone. This is Laura. Simone, the oldest, was the first to try hunting a gobbler in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Now it was Laura's turn.
You hear anything?
She's an unabashed downtown girl who tolerates a turkey addict father. Laura's first afternoon was a lesson in Wild Turkey 101.
They like to roost in trees like this. And then this is facing the east.
Oh, it's the center.
They always like to wake up in the morning with the sun coming up so they can see the sun. Let's see if we can see any droppings underneath the trees.
We searched for fresh sign and called for birds that didn't answer. Once we took a seat in a very special place. Special to their dad.
You usually see a lot of deer down there.
Sharing such moments with my daughters, moments all turkey hunters experience,
There's a deer.
was just the beginning, I figured.
That's where he was gobbling earlier.
Mm-hmm. Where'd they go?
He's around.
Tomorrow, I thought, maybe Laura will discover when she was a little girl why her dad was gone from home so many spring mornings.
Coming out here at 4 o'clock in the morning and walking through the woods when it's dark out, you almost feel like you're a sniper in a way. But you walk through and almost, at first it was a little scary, and it had a calming sense to it after a while.
While we waited for dawn, I wondered if the feeling was father like daughter. After 30 years of April dawns in the Black Hills, there's no easy way to explain why it doesn't get old. Vistas of ponderosa pines are nice, but not that nice. No, the best answer is the bird itself. Seeing them, hearing them. It's never the same.
Well, we were sitting by the tree, and the wind was howling. It was cold and dark, and I was thinking, this is crazy. And then it kind of got calm, and the sun started to rise. There's a slight bit of light, and now you hear the turkeys calling back and forth. And then as soon as it got a little bit lighter and lighter, all of a sudden they started darting out of the tree, and exactly where you told me they were going to land, they did. It was almost as if they were on cue. Boy, your heart is beating when you're doing that.
Huh?
I didn't. Your heart's beating so fast. This thing is heavy. The best part about it, I think, is spending time with my dad and his utopia, which is the Black Hills of South Dakota. But it was fun. I would try it again. It's a challenge, I think, is really what I enjoyed most out of it. Sunrise sure is pretty.
Welcome to turkey hunting, Laura. Wow, Laura, you know, I'll never forget that turkey hunt.
I won't either, and surprising, I haven't changed a bit.
You know, you haven't, and I haven't either.
No.
Well, now that we've fibbed each other, we're out of time. So remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Chera, and the real star of the show will be back next week. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.